Thresh ban is up front. Forward.
It's a solid ban. Thresh is always a champion that can work with a lot of different comps.
Thresh fits into every single one. So he's always a good one to have off the table, seeing how he's always going to be a huge playmaker, and is able to he's able to fill every role that a support needs between peeling and CC and tankiness. Just general disruption is what that champion is. But you see a Caitlyn ban coming out next from our Cabello Fanclub. Caitlyn is one of the most abusive AD carries in the meta right now, with her really long range and very good self peel actually, with her net and her traps that can pressure objectives very well. And then Ezreal being one of the safest AD carries in the game with his arcane shift and his constant poke and harass from there. Just not the greatest early game, but definitely scales into a monster.
It's no surprise to see this Echo ban coming out. Echo is definitely really strong in the meta right now. He's not quite as strong as he was maybe a patch ago, but he's still a very, very difficult jungler to deal with.
Difficult jungler, difficult mid laner, difficult top laner. He's able to be flexed a lot of different positions there.
Lee Sin ban coming in. It's the third ban in the first round here.
It's always fun watching Lee Sin, but unfortunately we won't be seeing much of him this game.
Not today.
And Mordekaiser, one of the strongest top laners in my opinion, has a very strong split potential and can deal with 2v1s in top lane very easily, especially once he hits 6. It's a very tanky target on top of dealing a lot of damage as well. But
so Aphelios did make it through the first round of bans, and Threat Level Midnight is wasting no time in picking him up. He's a very strong, potentially strong champion at this moment.
Olaf, who I personally consider the strongest jungler in the game right now. His ability to just tank a whole lot of damage and not be able to be CC'd for, I believe it's 8 seconds, is actually just disgusting.
Yeah, I agree. Olaf is definitely, if not S tier, A tier, but I think it's definitely S tier jungler right now, for sure.
Alongside the other junglers, I think the only ones that even close to him right now are like Graves, Echo, and Jarvan.
Just in the nick of time, locking in Ziggs.
That's not a big weakness too often, but I would assume that that is mid, but he can also be flexed into the bot.
True, it could be mage bot. See some unorthodox bot lane action this game.
Well, at least we know that Martin Cabello's wave clear will be solidified with the Ziggs pick at least, so if they need to stall the game out, they definitely. Being a wonderful support is also a kind of a jack of all trades, except for being tank, but provides heal, a lot of heal. Usually susceptible to assassins, so it's not like it's the worst thing in the world, but she's definitely very strong, especially when it comes to buffing her in carry, who's only comparable to Lulu in that aspect. And then the Nocturne, who a really strong assassin in the jungle, most likely, but he can also be flexed into the mid and top actually as of late.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of mid and top Nocturne. Honestly. I've seen him more in the solo lanes than in the jungle in recent patches, honestly.
But now we have Kai'Sa, who has a lot of self-peel, which means that Ziggs will be their mid laner, and Kai'Sa will be their AD carry on the side of Martin Cabello.
Yeah, both teams here really got some high priority AD carry picks. The Aphelios, obviously very high priority, and Kai'Sa is also very strong currently.
Kai'Sa is one of those champions that really put your skill of the champion on display. And Riven, my actual favorite, is not going to be seen. Though I'm assuming that they're target banning somebody on Martin Cabello, and by somebody, Sir Misfits over there.
Yeah, Martin Cabello's yet to pick their top laner and their support. So definitely probably gonna see another top lane ban here coming out on the threat level midnight side.
I'm I put my money on the support, really.
Ban support. See a Nautilus ban right here?
Maybe. It would either be like a Nautilus or maybe
a Pike.
A Pike, maybe. Or Khan. There's a lot of like strong supports right now. There's the Nautilus.
The Nautilus.
You want the money today. Because I just feel like top lane in the current meta, in the current season, is just not as impactful as a role as it should be. So there's the Leona, which is my main support. Oh god, this is gonna be interesting to play along with because Leona Kai'Sa is definitely one of the strongest bot lanes in my personal opinion. It's actually, from my own experience, it's actually the bot lane that me and my duo partner used to climb. So I with Leona landing in E, it's pretty much an instant death if Kai'Sa can get into a position where she can land her W.
So another high priority pick coming out here with the Diana. Very overpowered at the moment. I usually find myself banning Dianas in my games. So they got the Aphelios and the Diana.
The Maokai coming out on the side of threat level Midnight. Should I even be calling it threat level Midnight with 2 replacements? In chat.
Oh, sure. So the last 2 picks are Sion and Leona give a lot of beefiness and a solid front line for this team.
It's going to be very difficult for the Nocturne to stick to the Kai'Sa, especially if Leona or Sion are sitting on her. Because Olaf is probably going to be the one that's heading into the backline with Leona, and then Sion's going to sit in the back with Kai'Sa, is I think the way that these team fights will most likely play out. But with the teleport also on the side, it's going to give a lot of map pressure for him to get really good ult flanks off in this game. Maokai into Sion is also not a very optimal matchup. It's usually Sion sided, even though Maokai can dodge a lot of the damage coming, or the main piece of damage coming from Sion's Q. It's also something that that should be aware of.
I mean, just the sheer amounts of crowd control just between Sion and Leona alone really would just be more than enough peel, honestly. You're going to have Nocturne dive in the backline, Diana dive in the backline, but Olaf's going to be diving the backline of the other team, but there's just so much CC to like make up for that like Kai'Sa's going to be perfectly fine, I feel like, in these team fights. But the Nocturne is not going to be able to accomplish his job if they do it properly, regardless of his spell shield.
It's going to be real interesting to see how the team fights play out in that aspect. Because I think that, especially like I said, with the wave clear coming out from Ziggs, it's going to be really difficult for threat level Midnight to stall the game out without a significant wave clear on their team. Because Aphelios' wave clear is always decent. It's not amazing, but it's enough to push people off of objectives and the like.
I mean, yeah, if Martin Cabello falls behind in this game, like you said, the wave clear is going to be fine. And diving, even if you're ahead a little bit, diving a comp with like a Leona and a Sion could prove problematic and troublesome.
It's going to be very problematic because their only like real tank is going to be Maokai. Maokai is able to soak a lot of damage, but if he does not use his Twisted Advance properly, he might end up switching the tower aggro off of himself, which is the big thing. So if he's not the one engaging and early using his root, it can spell trouble for level Midnight, because then the tower aggro is going to set onto one of these other 4 very squishy champions that are on this team. And it's not like they have enough CC between, because their only CCs are going to be really Nami, or reliable CC is going to be Nami and Maokai. So Aphelios is situational. If he has Gravitum and Nocturne, it takes about, I think it's 2 seconds before the fear is activated. So the team fights have to happen really quickly in order for them to succeed in this game. Or of course, if like the picks go out, then that's a different story entirely.
Yeah, if threat level Midnight is able to catch someone out of position quickly with an initiation ult like a Nocturne or a Nami or the Maokai Twisted Advance /ult, they're gonna be able to to pick people off really effectively. But if it comes to like a straight 5v5, it could be definitely more difficult.
The 5v5 team comp is definitely going towards the side of Martin Cabello, because again we have the Leona Scion for frontline. Olaf as well can also be considered part of that frontline, even though he's probably going to be doing a lot of damage himself. Ziggs is going to be sitting in the back line next to Kaisa, so it's going to be very difficult for anybody to stick to the Kaisa or the Ziggs, especially with Ziggs' own self-peel, and Kaisa's also her own self-peel with her ultimate. It's not going to be very easy for Nocturne to stick to either of those two champions who are going to be his primary targets for that ultimate.
So stream delay has elapsed. We should be getting into this any second now.
At the loading screen, you can see all of the wonderful little keystones that people are running. Diana did opt for the Conqueror this game rather than the Electrocute. But other than that, everybody else seems very standard, even though the Conqueror Diana is becoming a standard.
So Conqueror Diana is an interesting pick. I wouldn't have thought to do that off the top of my head, but I would have gone for like an Electrocute or...
Yeah, Conqueror Diana you see more in a when you're running top lane Diana, but I know I played in mid a couple times too. It's really good for the sustain. It synergizes really well with her kit, because especially if you're building Nash's Tooth on Diana, her auto attacks, all of her auto attacks are with the attack speed buff, and her passive are just going to continually heal her throughout a fight, even after she's done bursting through, which Diana's burst is really high in the first place.
Yeah, Diana's burst is insane at the moment, especially she's like even a little bit ahead. Your health bars can get chunked real quick.
So here we go, starting off. We're going to go with standard items across the board. Nothing too out of the ordinary.
As teams are rolling out, looks like blue side is pinging to guard the jungle. See if we get any interesting level 1 action between these two teams.
Seems like a standard 5-point positioning coming from Martin Cabello.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Might have set mid lane, but it should be. It looks like it'll probably be fun. Although we have a Aphelios sneaking in top side of river, although it doesn't look like anything is going to come of it.
Nobody saw him in play. Olaf will be starting his red buff this game rather than blue. He might be looking towards an early game, an early gank, or an early invade, because invading Nocturne should be relatively simple and easy for him. Should be, but we'll see how the vision plays out. Because I think probably going to do a red Raptors into he might even do buff to buff, really, judging from the red start, because he might do buff to buff or just hit the level 2 of top lane just to get his Scion ahead. Leona and Kaisa are looking for cheese to eat their tri-burst here. Let's see how that goes down.
So we will walk right into it. There is a ward. I didn't see the ward either.
I didn't see the ward either, actually. That was weird. I guess Leona was just standing on top. A little too beefy. But it's okay. Immediate lane priority given to bot with hitting her 2 relic stacks. Olaf opting to go from red to Krugs, actually. Nocturne going also from red to Krugs. Mirroring start.
So we see both. Actually, Nocturne is going to do these Raptors here, instead of heading towards the top side.
And Olaf did not opt for the invade either, even though Olaf also did not go for his own Raptors, meaning that might be trying to hit an early gank into this mid lane. Leona wants to in the bot lane, a fight is breaking out, but Aphelios is answering back in every way possible. Leona backed out a little too far and looked like Aphelios may ignite it. Are out.
Let's heal coming out on the side of Martin Cabello.
Really long skirmish going out. Both Kai's heal and Nami's ignite are off the board for a couple minutes, but the pressure is still on the bot.
Diana has been trading in this mid lane too as well. She's taken a significant amount of her health. And Olaf looks to gank mid at this scuttle. Oh, she is backing off a little bit.
It's about standard time for a gank to be going out, so...
Looks like Olaf is eyeing this gank.
Although Nocturne is in the topside river, so she may not get too much. Oh, there's the flash coming out from Diana, which is, I think, all they wanted, and might run right into that Nocturne.
Oh, she might walk back up too far. Ziggs is, uh-oh, face checking.
Nocturne is there in that bush, and flash is burned from the Olaf.
So both sides there losing one flash.
Diana's flash and Olaf's flash are now not on the board, which is going to make ganking a little bit more difficult for the Olaf, but I don't think it'll be that much of an issue. Top lane island is back where it should be.
Pretty neck and neck start. The only one discrepancy I would think of. Oh, engaged on the bot side here. Leona.
Leona's looking, she gets rooted by the Gravitoon, and...
Oh, the nice play there by the Kai'Sa to secure that kill. Looking for
the
more.
Kai'Sa might be going down as well.
May have overextended there a little bit, fighting in that minion wave. Oh my goodness!
Aphelios returning with the double kill.
Yeah, fighting in that minion wave was definitely a mistake. It should have backed off after securing that first kill.
I think Cabello just wanted to flex their muscles a little bit.
Yeah, just trying to flex. Well, we got both heals down in the bot lane now.
All of the summoners are down in the bot lane except for the Aphelios flash. And Ziggs' Scheme is definitely looking for a bag here. He doesn't have a whole lot of mana left, and probably one or two more bouncing bombs before he's out of mana and unable to. And so is Moonbeam. Moon is definitely both mid laners out of mana, so very difficult for them to start trading with each other.
First dragon of the game is going to be Earth Drake. Neither team really has much of any kind of vision control around it whatsoever.
The only vision that they have is that red ward placed by Ziggs in that bottom side river, but it's not deep enough to really spot body if they were to actually go for it. Dana looking to trade again, but doesn't get a whole lot of.
Yeah, Ziggs does have the boards on both sides of his river, but those wards definitely, like you were saying, would definitely be more productive to get him a little bit deeper, to get a little bit more information, because right now they're only going to help him if someone's coming to gank him specifically, as they are fading away.
Despite the double kill on Aphelios, Kai'Sa's only down on gold.
Yeah, the CS is pretty even down there.
Sion looking to make big plays. Sion holding onto the Maokai, actually getting a solo kill on the Maokai.
I am Minipod picking up his first kill of the game.
Looking back down into the bottom. There is another fight breaking out. Leona does land the E, and Nami will be going down to that. Will they beat again once more for the Aphelios? They will not. They will back off. Will Martin Cabello look towards the dragon to be picked up?
I think the answer should be yes. They could definitely. Olaf is going to be quick at taking that down, and with a numbers advantage.
Olaf is opting for the crab instead, which is not a bad. I don't think it's a bad play by any means. And especially since they don't know where Nocturne is, it actually isn't a very good idea to go for this dragon, seeing as how their bot lane, or their mid laner just recalled and they're all healthy, and their bot lane just still need to recall from having pushing in the wave that they just finished. Slight advantages definitely going on to the side of Martin Cabello, but
yeah, for the dragon down there, they opted to take lower risk play. Since they got the lead, they're not trying to do anything that's going to throw that right now. Anything that's questionable. They just need to play a slow game and use this lead to their advantage. Although it looks like they might caught out Diana here. Nice roam up from the bot lane. Martin Cabello. So they did get that solid roam up to the mid lane, but Felios is going to get at least 2 turret plates out of this, you would think. Make up a lot of gold there. Even more gold onto him. He's got almost a 10 CS lead. Top of those plates and the 2 kills. He's definitely getting big.
The gold lead is still within 200 even after those 2 plates. Felios only being down about 150, and Leona only being up.
Gold lead's actually 2,000.
I'm talking about just bot.
Oh, just bot lane gold.
Like the individual gold leads are very, very minimal, except for the mid lane. And a top lane apparently as well. The solo laners are definitely ahead in gold. Bot lane, jungle are still pretty close in gold, despite the team's gold lead. Let's see how they transition and stuff.
So there's definitely a lot of gold just sitting on both of these AD carries for these 2 teams. Should make for some interesting team fights.
Felios does currently have 1,500. He's probably looking at back here, but...
And Olaf is starting up his dragon here. Does not have a pink ward in the pit, but it looks like no contest in threat level midnight. They have no vision control, but neither does threat level midnight, so...
Although Nocturne...
He's looking to make a play.
And it looked to make a play on the top lane, but...
Zion, I am mini pod just way too healthy for that at this moment.
Way too healthy and not far enough pushed up for that to even probably work.
So,
not to mention that Zion still has had ultimate.
So that was a good trade there for Martin Cabello because they got that dragon while Nocturne was up top lane. Didn't really get much out of that at all. So the lead extends even further here for Martin Cabello Fanclub.
Seems really slow in the play. Not a whole lot happening, just a bunch of small trades, abilities where they can. No one really all in each other, especially now. Although Diana did opt for the Catalyst, which I think is rather interesting, considering the build.
So there has not been many roams. It's really just been... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to talk about, again, how Sion still had his ultimate. He used it to escape yet another gang coming in from the Nocturne.
Yeah, a lot of resources being spent by threat level midnight here in this top side of the map, and really not much to show for it.
Although Olaf is once again like hopefully waiting in the bot lane for something to happen, not realizing that they had back that threat level midnight probably back. Although Helios did pick up a Storm Razor. And Kaisa has the goal to finish his Storm Razor.
Yeah, the first items coming in are these AD carries. Some serious damage could be coming out, and this first big team fight does occur.
Leona does make the roam in the mid, forces the flash from the Diana, which I find not having early mobility boots on Leona to be a very interesting pick, seeing as how Leona's roams are really strong.
And she's been roaming a lot. She's been trying to make it work.
She hasn't been. I think that was her first roam of the game.
No, they roamed up. Trolled the noob and the Misfits roamed up and got that kill onto Diana.
Oh yeah.
Earlier on. But yeah, there hasn't been much roaming going on at all in this game though. Aside from those 2 roams up from the bot lane of Martin Cabello, really it's just been people farming out their solo lanes. Silent getting that solo kill on the G-Bob and top side, but not a lot of roaming and team fighting. Although it is still early, it's really
Mini pod just taking into the
13th minute.
No problem.
Olaf lurking here in the spot side. Decides nothing's gonna happen.
Looking once again to see if he can make a play bot lane. Does not seem like it can happen, but Anarok is back in the bot lane. His ultimate is up and he's ready to counter engage this if needed. The ultimate goes down from Anarok, and Android is immediately popped, as well as Anorak also immediately popped by Kai'Sa Leona. And even though Olaf does not go down in this team fight, a wonderful display of skills, especially from the way that of Misfits, where he entirely was not the focus of the fight at all.
Yeah, the Misfits was really able to just put out way too much damage in that fight. Was definitely way more effective than another DayZ. Which that was the fight we're waiting for. Both of these AD carries have been stacking up gold, stacking up these kills in preparation for that team fight, and the Misfits got the job done.
The problem is that they in that specific situation, Martin Cabello had 3 targets to really fight, whereas Threat Level Midnight actually only had 1, because they can't really focus down the Olaf. The Olaf is relatively tanky despite having full damage. It's not easy to take down because of his lifesteal. Then you have the Leona with Aftershock, who is near impossible to take down during Aftershock. And then their only target really was Kai'Sa. Yet the fight didn't occur onto Kai'Sa.
Yeah, they got the engage onto another DayZ. Definitely stunting the damage she's gonna be able to put out there in that fight as well.
And like I said in Champs, like, it's going to be difficult to stick to Misfits Kai'Sa, because anytime that she gets jumped on, all they have to do is ult to the side, and bam, the kiting continues. But we do see a little bit of action in the mid lane, but it doesn't seem like Anorak can find anything to work off of here in the mid lane.
So with the Dragon Timers, Martin Cabello did not get... The only thing they got from that... another fight breaking out in the bot lane here.
He started off really well looking for... another Q going down. And
Martin Cabello just wiping the floor with Threat Level Midnight right there. They tried to burst down Troll the Noob at the beginning of that fight, but it just took too long, and then the damage came out from Misfits, who's just on the monster right now. 6 kills.
All comes back to what I was saying before, how difficult it's going to be to drop the Leona. Troll the Noob's Leona is an absurdly tanky champion with her W, which is maxed, by the way. So Leona is gaining 40, like pretty much 50 armor and magic resist, as well as reducing incoming damage by 24 damage each. It's going to be very, like, that extends to 6 seconds, right? So now we have that on top of the Aftershock stats to just mitigate or negate as much damage as humanly possible, which gave more than enough time for Martin Cabello to collapse on that fight, as well as for Leona, for Troll the Noob's Leona to hit a wonderful ultimate that would stun 2 champions, but hitting 3.
Yes, and so Martin Cabello walks out of that team fight with a lot of gold and an Infernal Dragon to their name, which I'm sure they are very pleased to have.
Although Kai'Sa is down 2 CS currently, it means very little to the 6 kills that Misfits has, and to finish the Stormrazor and the Ginsu's Rageblade.
G-Bob and Minipod are skirmishing in the top lane.
Fighting in mid lane between Diana and Leona, but Moon's Diana can't seem to find any damage onto Troll the Noob's Leona, who is just soaking damage left and right.
And Anorak tried to gank top lane again onto the Scion, and really it's just not working out for him. It's just too tanky for him to do anything too quick enough, and help came over from the side of Martin Cabello and got the return 2 kills. And
also on the mid lane, where, like I said, Moon was trying to take on the Diana, but that didn't seem to work out too well, where Schema and Troll the Noob just ended up killing her out over by the river after she escaped. But Martin Cabello is looking to pick up the first Rift Herald of the game, which most likely will open up the map in a lot of ways.
And we do have another DayZ split pushing in the spot side. He said, I couldn't do nothing to help you guys out. Try to get some turret damage, although he looks like he's backing off from that. She's just picking up the CS. So the turrets are 3-1. The Threat Level Midnight only taking up that bottom side outer turret. His gold lead is now getting quite extensive for the side of Martin Cabello, up almost 9,000 gold.
Almost 8,000 gold lead with 2 towers and a bunch of gold swarming every single roll now.
And the Misfits is just going to be a complete monster in these team fights. If Threat of Midnight wants to have a chance to win one of these fights,
they have to drop her.
I don't even know how it's going to happen, because Olaf is also a massive. Witchblades, he's so big right now, and if you have a straight up 5v5 team fight, I don't see a single way that Threat of Midnight is going to come out on top of that.
Yeah, and it was like I said before in Champs League, if they did get behind, it will be a very uphill battle, because they won't have the damage to kill any of Martin Cabello's carries.
Do you see Martin Cabello trying to take over the bot side jungle of the Midnight?
There is another fight breaking out here on the bot side of the jungle, but it does not seem to be going the way of Third Level Midnight. Martin Cabello once again returning 2 kills onto their bot.
Oh, looks like they might have him caught out here. If this is a chance to do it, this is it.
Diana does go in and hit the ultimate, but it doesn't seem to matter because Misfits Kaisa is just way too strong. Although they did spend a lot of resources to take down Troll the Noob's Leona, the resources need to be spent really on the Kaisa, because dropping the Leona, although that is very important, all of these fights are going towards Martin Cabello simply because they're not sticking to Kaisa. Misfits Kaisa is just allowed to run rampant in all of these fights.
Yeah, I think this game is all but over. That was a pretty solid engage they had from Diana, and if they were going to take down the Misfits here and get that shut down, get back in this game, I feel like that was probably their opportunity to do it, and it did not work out. And this goal lead is now 12,000. And we're just now crossing the 20-minute mark.
Flash blown from Schema 6, caused by the bubble coming from Angeloid.
And with just how huge his gold deficit is, I don't think there's any amount of wave clear that Aphelios could provide to stall enough time to get back into this game.
Even the CS lead that has been built up between the solo laners has increased even more. Like, although there wasn't a whole lot of interaction between the 2 mid laners, Schema 6 seeing a 60, pretty much a 50 actually, CS gold lead. CS lead. Not a gold lead, CS lead. Troll the Noob is just really trying to ward aggressively and even looking towards G-Bob and Angeloid to place that vision and even fight a small skirmish that didn't really put any damage down on Troll's Leona. But once again, we are looking at Martin Cabello's grouping up here in the mid lane to see if they can draw pressure to find that mid tower or even a Baron here.
Baron is up and available. Be interested to see if they are opting to get control of that area and try to take that down, or if they think they have just a big enough lead that they can just walk it down mid and end this game. Goalie is still hovering around 12,000. Felio's trying to clear these minions, but the threat of that Leona is pretty menacing at this moment. It's like they probably caught G-Bob Jones out here, thinking he could walk into his own jungle. Thought wrong. That jungle belongs to Martin Cabello at this point. Another kill coming out onto another DayZ top side. Looks like they're not interested in this Baron. Oh, it looks like
Misfits and Troll the Noob with Depth are pushing in this bot lane to see if they can pull this inhibitor off while another DayZ is down. Will Threat Level Midnight be able to respond? Doesn't look like they will. Nami sacrificing herself by giving up her body a little bit to Troll the Noob's Leona, and the inhibit ends up going down.
Troll the Noob just laughed at that damage they tried to put onto her. It didn't even tickle her. This will be a very tough front line to get through. They want to try to take out Misfits.
And even looking at the builds coming from Threat Level Midnight, it doesn't seem like their builds are don't have enough penetration really to do anything to their front line. It's like there's no Black Cleaver, no Last Whisper, no Morello.
Now, there is only 3 people in the mid lane here for Martin Cabello, so if Threat of Midnight wanted to have a last-ditch chance, engagement right there probably would have been it. Oh, looks like I Am Minipod is making his way up this mid lane.
Or now would have been the time if they weren't getting poked out by Schema's Ziggs.
Trying to get the inhib down. Man, that Ziggs poke is just too much. It's the flash from G-Bob, but he will get away with his life. That inhibitor, second inhibitor falls. My gosh, that Ziggs poke. There's way too much damage coming from the carries here as Leona engages.
Decimating smash going out. Ziggs once again hitting bomb after bomb, and Kai'Sa and Misfits Kai'Sa just running through the team yet again with all of the damage that has been fed to him.
Threat level Midnight is just completely swept. 5-0. As this game is all but over. Astounding 17,000 gold lead in 24 minutes. I have not seen many 17,000 gold leads in my time.
The snowball was really what pushed it into what that it was, so I'm not really... It was still very fun when I watch it cast, but...
Yeah, the game was very close, especially for the first whole, like, 10, 12, 15 minutes. Very close. Both carries were really just stacking up large amounts of gold. It was really that one team fight in the bot side.
It was looking really good, especially after Aphelios picked up that double kill.
Oh, yeah.
So it was looking very good in the bot side up until that first huge team fight.
It's really just, Misfits versus another DayZ who's gonna make that team fight work out, and Misfits made it happen, and he played a solid game and in 13-1. Definitely doing some work.
And the damage charts reflecting what was going on here, because your Kai'Sa is out here 18k and the Ziggs at 17. It was just really difficult, like I said earlier, to stick to their Kai'Sa, or to stick to their carries, to stick to Martin Cabello's carries, and ultimately that was what brought down Threat Level Midnight.
Yeah, I wish I could see a gold graph for that, because I'm sure the game was definitely very even for a long time there, until, like I said, that 15 minutes, and really just the snowball was impressive for sure. Once they got that lead, they just took the game over.
Yeah, the gold lead was really close up until that first team fight where they 3v3'd in the bot lane with where they tried to jump where Anurag tried to ult onto Troll the Noob instead of Misfits, and it didn't seem to work out too well since they got tripled.
Yeah, that was really the moment of this game. And another thing was Anorak was spending so much time trying to put pressure on the Sion top side and really never got anything out of that. And that was where most of their jungle presence went for the entire laning phase of this game. And so I feel like that was just a spot where they were missing opportunities in other places of the map, potentially. They could have gotten a lead.
After they had pushed off the Sion a couple times, I felt like they were definitely opportunities for them to pick up, whether it was pick up their Rift Herald while Witchblade's Olaf was picking up dragons.
All right, well, that was an exhibition match, but Martin Cabello, the third fan club, did pick up the dub, and they will proceed to be 1-0.